Hey friends, and welcome to this new video dedicated to the world of Poppy Playtime. Today we'll talk about a project that has been getting a lot of attention lately. Poppy Playtime Remake. I noticed that the videos about this topic got a lot of interest, so today I will show other information. And it's not just happening here on the channel, but also within the Poppy Playtime community in general, where more and more people are closely following this project. The reason is pretty clear. From what we've seen so far, this remake seems to aim very high, especially in terms of visual quality and atmosphere. Before we continue though, it's important to clarify something fundamental. Poppy Playtime Remake is not a game developed by Mob Entertainment. It is a fan project, developed by Occulta Studio. Anyway, it's surprising many people, because the level of care shown so far is really impressive for an independent project. Occulta Studio want to recreate Poppy Playtime Chapter 1, but in a completely reworked version, improved graphics, more detailed environments, and above all, a stronger horror atmosphere, heavier and more unsettling compared to the original. This isn't just a simple graphic remake, but an attempt to make the experience more immersive and closer to a true horror game. In today's video, we'll take a look at some official screenshots of the game, talk about what they show, what we can expect from the remake, and we'll also analyze the main menu, which already says a lot about the kind of atmosphere Occulta Studio wants to convey. We'll try to understand whether this project truly has the potential to become one of the most interesting fan remakes connected to Poppy Playtime. Before we start, as always, don't forget to leave a like on the video if you enjoy this kind of content and if you want to keep seeing news and theories about Poppy Playtime. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed yet and activate the notification bell so you don't miss future updates of Poppy Playtime series. That said, I think we're ready to begin and take a closer look at Poppy Playtime Remake. Let's start first with this screenshot, which shows us one of the most iconic areas of the game, namely the Make a Friend zone. For those who don't remember, in this area, we create the Catbee toy, and immediately after, the chase from Huggy Wuggy begins, so it's a very important and intense moment of the story. In the image, we can observe a part of that room with details that immediately catch the eye. We can notice the 3 large cylinders, which in the original game were used to create the toys, and on the right one, of the machines typical of the factory. These elements are not just background objects. In a remake like this, they become an integral part of the atmosphere, because the way they are lit, the position of the lights and the shadows help make the scene more disturbing and immersive. What immediately stands out in this screenshot is the graphic quality. The materials, the textures, and the details are very carefully crafted, and you can see how Occulta Studio is aiming for a higher visual level compared to the original game. But it's not just about graphics. What makes this image really interesting is the horror atmosphere. If we compare this area with the official version by Mob Entertainment, we notice the difference immediately. In the original game, the area is brighter with more vivid colors and less visual tension. Here instead, in the remake, the environment appears darker, with lighting designed to create suspense and a constant sense of threat. Even the smallest details contribute to this feeling. The shadows on the machines, the play of lights on the cylinders, and even the angle from which the image was captured suggest that the chase will be more tense. You can sense right away that this will not just be an aesthetic remake, but a real attempt to immerse the player in a more horror, more intense, and more engaging experience than seen so far. Overall, this screenshot clearly shows us the artistic direction of the remake. A familiar environment for those who know the first chapter, but reinterpreted in a darker and more disturbing key, with attention to detail that promises to make every room a new and more intense experience. Now, let's take a look at this screenshot directly from the remake gameplay. I need to clarify right away. The image quality isn't very high, so some details are a bit blurry or not very clear. Despite this, it still allows us to notice several interesting elements and understand how Occulta Studio is working on the overall look of the game. This screenshot is set in the same area as the previous screenshot, the Make a Friend zone. But this time we are in actual gameplay, so we can already feel the dynamic atmosphere of the game. The most obvious and certainly most important thing is the presence of Huggy Wuggy. We can see him watching the player and moving towards them. And this alone already gives us the sense of tension that the remake wants to convey. Besides the presence of this iconic enemy, we can also notice the typical gameplay elements that the remake wants to keep but reinterpreted in a darker way. The horror atmosphere remains central to the experience, with low lighting and heavy shadows contributing to a constant sense of unease. Even in motion, the game seems to maintain the visual impact and emotional intensity expected from a horror title. Regarding the 3D model of Huggy Wuggy, Occulta Studio promises a significant improvement over the original version by Mob Entertainment. Unfortunately, from this screenshot, we cannot see these details, because the low image quality doesn't allow us to notice the textures, updated proportions, or more refined expressions. However, those who follow the channel already know that a few days ago I published a video dedicated to how Huggy Wuggy will look in this remake, showing all the details and changes compared to the original model. So even if it's not clear in this screenshot, we know that the character design has been significantly revised to make it scarier and more realistic in 3D. This screenshot helps us understand that the remake doesn't just improve static graphics, but aims to recreate a more immersive gameplay experience, where every element helps keep tension and the horror atmosphere alive. Now let's focus on this screenshot, which comes directly from a preview gameplay video published by Occulta Studio. This gives us a much clearer idea of how the remake will look during the actual gameplay, and not just from static images or concept art. In the image we can see the scene where the player uses the hand scanner, placing the blue hand and the red hand to open the door. It's a moment that was already known in the original game, but in the remake it gains new graphical improvements and attention to detail. One of the most noticeable elements is the hand scanner itself. The light emitted by the scanner is more realistic, the hands are illuminated naturally when placed on the surface, and this small effect greatly contributes to making the interaction more immersive. Beyond the scanner's light, we can notice overall improvements in textures and reflections on both the wall and the door. The materials look more defined and realistic, and even the reflections help give depth to the scene. All these details, even if they seem small, make a big difference when it comes to creating a more intense horror atmosphere, because they add tangibility and make the environment feel more real, increasing tension during gameplay. What clearly emerges from this screenshot is that Occulta Studio is not just improving superficial graphics, but is working on every visual aspect to make the game more immersive and engaging. From the lighting to the textures, from reflections to dynamic effects, every element contributes to giving the impression of actually being inside the toy factory, while still maintaining that sense of unease that is at the heart of Poppy Playtime. Overall, this screenshot shows us how even small interactions, like placing your hands on the scanner, have been designed to have a much stronger visual and emotional impact compared to the original. It's a clear sign that the remake is not just a simple graphical update, but a real reinterpretation, capable of offering a deeper and more immersive experience for all fans of the series. Now we come to the conclusion of this new overview of Poppy Playtime Remake. As we've seen, the project by Occulta Studio is attracting a lot of attention for its attention to detail, improved graphics, and the horror atmosphere. That said, I thank you for watching this video. See you in the next video, where we will continue exploring all the news and secrets of Poppy Playtime. See you soon. Bye bye.